Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wadcast podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Ift. Each and every week, I bring you, I don't know what I bring you. I bring you some entertainment, some fitness talk, some information, and this week is just like every other week that we're living in a pandemic right now. It's unprecedented times. And it's a little weird. I'm doing all the episodes from FaceTime. I FaceTime, not Skype. I'm not a Skype guy. I FaceTime everyone. We do the episodes. I usually do them live, but, we all know what the situation is. And weirdly, it's kind of fun because I can now get anybody. Everybody's available, and I can interview anybody. So let me know who you think I should interview. Send me a message, wadcastpodcast@yahoo.com, or go on the Instagram or my Instagram. My Instagram's best. Just go to @EddieIft, @EddieIft, and be like, hey, why don't you have so-and-so on? Why don't you have this person on? Why don't you have that person on? Some of these people I want to meet, and I feel like it's better in person. Like you just have a better chemistry with them once you meet them. Sometimes we work out together or do go skiing or surfing or something, and then I don't know, there's more of a bond and you're more open to and available to talk than if you just Skype them or FaceTime them. That's a little impersonal. So, but there's a lot I still want to know, and a lot of people out there that have expert information. Right now, we do a little bit of what's going on now, but, because the situation's different, you got to work out at home. And I'm getting a lot of content, a lot of messaging from people saying, hey, what do I do to work out right now? I don't have any equipment. There's so much information available on the internet. I mean, honestly, do you need me? I mean, I can send you in the right direction. There's thousands and thousands of trainers and coaches out there who have incredible programming and are now converting it for the situation. But I don't know. Patreon. If you like this show and you like to participate, please go to my Patreon. I don't know if you know this, but I'm a stand-up comedian for a living, and if you've seen my tour dates, they don't exist any longer. So there's zero income coming in like there was before. I'm as unemployed as there possibly could ever be. So if you want to help out the show, please go to Patreon. It's I've said it before, and I think I was wrong. I think it's let's see if it opens right now. Patreon.com/Wadcast, I think, is what it is. If you donate $5, that's it. Patreon.com/Wadcast. If you donate just $5 a month, that's like $1 a show. $1.25 a show. You donate $5 a month, we'll put you in a drawing, and you'll probably get Maya Pucks and a leopard claw. How about that? How great is that? Maya Pucks and a leopard claw. I've talked about the Maya Pucks a million times over. It's an electronic muscle stimulator, and what it does is it basically makes your muscles twitch that blood pumps to them. So you expedite the inflammatory process, and it flushes all the bad waste out of that area into your lymphatic system. And it basically, or not basically, it does make you rehab and heal faster. I want to talk today about the leopard claw. The leopard claw is what's called a gua shui. I mean, they don't call it that because I think that's like a patented name, but it's like that. It's a multi-tool device. Just looks like this steel bar kind of thing that's curved, and it's got these edges on it, and you use it to scrape. I've never been the biggest fan of scraping until I had I've had tennis elbow or epicondylitis. I think I pronounced that right. Basically, I have a little tendon in my elbow that's fucked, and you scrape it. And when you say scrape it, I don't scrape that tendon. I scrape the muscles below the tendon really hard. You put this foam on your skin, and then you just rub back and forth. And what it does is it breaks up that whole area where it's all kind of congested, and it allows blood to flow back into there. And I have tried everything from neural flossing to voodoo, with the voodoo bands, with using my electronic muscle stimulator, to theragunning, and these are all great things. They're all great. I'm the king of like rehab because I'm injured all the time, but they're all great for different things. And I've tried exercises and stretches and different my crossover symmetry, everything to fix this. The thing that worked the best was my leopard claw. I just yesterday used it. I was like, you know what? I watched this little video of this girl swearing by scraping, and I did it. And today, my elbow has never felt better. So, going back to the Patreon, if you want to get one of these, the combination of the two of them are about $450 if you want to buy them. If you want to go online to myapucks.com or leopardclaw.com and order one of these, or both of them together, I think it's $450. We're going to give it to you if you donate $5 and you win, which there's a good chance you will, because if you look at the amount of people that donate to the show, it's not anywhere near the amount of people that listen to the show. Not even close. Thousands and thousands of people listen to this show, and very few people donate. I know there's much better places to give right now, but there always will be. But if this is what you like and this is what you listen to every week, please help out. If you've got a little extra to give, I know things are tight for everybody, so don't do it if you can't. And if you've got somebody more important that needs it, please do. And there are many places. So with that, let's get into my live tour dates. Oh, there aren't any. I forgot about that again. So you can't come see me live. And what else is going on? I just saw CrossFit claims that the games are going to go on in 2020. Apparently, they're going to happen up at the ranch. I don't know how they're going to fit all those spectators. You guys are going to be standing in the woods. But, I think it's just their commitment to giving you a games and, not canceling on you. If these other places won't do it, they'll still do it, and it'll go on, and people get to compete, and maybe they won't have spectator. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? The world's changing every day. That sounded so weird. I'm going crazy in my house. You don't understand. With 2 children here, it's like the inmates are starting to run the asylum. It's kind of like, did you guys ever read Lord of the Flies? That's what's happening. I'm pretty sure they're going to kill me. Don't ever give your children musical instruments at a young age. It will drive you batshit crazy. Okay, so back to the show. I have an amazing guest. I have like the best guests coming up, but I want to know who you want to see here. There's so many out there, and so many I don't know about. I learned about a bunch on this episode. So let me know if you have somebody, if you know them, connect us. Tell them, tell me, say, hey, let's do this thing. You should be on the show. This guy you'd like to, and there's shows I want to be on. Tell other people. I want to go on other podcasts. That's my new thing. I want to go talk on anyone out there that's got a good podcast. I want to go on. My guest today. Oh, before I talk about my guest, I want to talk about how I've been eating, because there's just, there's a lot going on. And I interview the guests. I'm getting better at talking to them and not talking so much, I think. My eating. I've been eating pretty healthy. And thanks to Eat the 80, I've been eating the most delicious food in the world. And I'm not joking. I have tried all of those meal deliveries where like you cook it or they cook it for you and you just heat it up. I've tried them all. They've all wanted to, advertise on the show, and there's times when they'll send it to us and I'll just look at my wife and be like, throw this in the garbage right now. This is the worst tasting thing, and I won't even advertise for them. But the newest one is by far the best tasting one. It's like, I don't understand how they make it taste so good, and that you like it's like prepackaged and then has to be heated up in the microwave. I don't get it. Because I think, I'm not joking, I feel like with Eat the 80, you could blindfold me, give me like a cooked meal in a restaurant, and give me a reheated meal from Eat the 80, and like I wouldn't be able to go, oh, this one's the microwave one. I would go, this one is the best tasting one of the two, by far. So I would much rather eat the 80 than 99% of the restaurants I go to. It's that delicious, and I'm being completely sincere here. Other amazing parts of it is the fact that it's like 100% gluten-free. They offer like Whole30 options as well as vegetarian, keto, and macro balanced. So like whatever you go to the site, you tell them what you want. And right now in these important times, they've got like a super, super, super clean kitchen. It's highly regulated at local, state, federal levels. They go beyond the safety standards. You know how CrossFitters are. They're elite at everything, and these are these kind of guys. Everything's vacuum sealed for freshness, and the staff that works there is all using protective equipment when they're boxing and shipping, so you don't have to worry about that stuff. And even, I've listened to the experts talk on TV, and if you're cooking stuff over, I think it's 150 degrees, you're cooking off anything. So you don't have to worry about that stuff. So this is a great way to get your food. It's tough getting food at the grocery stores now. So go to info. Oh, I don't even want you going to that right now. I just want you. Oh, actually, you can. Go to info at eatthe80.com. Info at eatthe80.com. Info at eatthe80.com, or I think you can go to eatthe80.com. But what they're doing, which is really good right now, at info at the, I can't even say it right now, info at eatthe80.com. They've got a partner program for trainers and gym owners. So when trainers get their clients to purchase subscriptions, the trainer's going to get credits towards free food. So it's like a 10% reward. So all you do as a trainer, you tell your clients they should be eating this stuff because it's super healthy, super tasty, and then you're going to get a little kickback. How's that feel? Huh? All right. So they've set up a special coupon code to WAD40 so that listeners can get a special sign-up offer on their first two orders. That's $20 off their first two for a total of $40 off. How good's that? $20 off your first two for a total of $40 off. And so do remember that. WAD40. That's eatthe80.com. That's eatthe80.com. I'm going to say it again, eatthe80.com. And do me a favor. After you try it, let me know. I liked every single meal I had of theirs. I've had about 8 meals, and every single one is amazing. I don't even like mushrooms, and I like the one with mushrooms in it. Eatthe80.com. And now I just want a little bit about our guest. I had heard about my guest for a while, and he's incredibly unique, incredibly intelligent, incredibly well-versed, and incredibly committed. He is a super nice guy. I had a great time talking to him. He's got books out. He's got a website that's awesome. He's a speaker. He's ripped as shit. And he's, if there's anything you want to know about health, go this guy's way. I always like to see all points of view, and he's got some interesting ones. So let's welcome to the show, Mr. Troy Casey. Welcome to the Wadcast Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Ift, and as always, I bring you the best guests in the world for this show because that's the kind of guy I am. I like to share with you people that are exciting, people that are interesting, and you guys are all big fans of Ronnie Teasdale. I was told there's someone next level. That's what I was told. I was talking to Hunter McIntyre, and he's like, how many times you can have Ronnie on? And I said, because I wanted to have Ronnie this week. I was talking to him. He's up like I don't know, like rolling around doing snow angels or something. And he said, you got to get Troy Casey on the show. And I said, why? And he said, just trust me. So then I talked to Bobby Williams. You know, you're familiar. Bobby's on the show a lot. We call him Crazy Bobby. And Bobby's like, yeah, get him on. He's like, you'll love it. So, ladies and gentlemen, the most ripped 50-year-old. You heard that, Bobby. He's wrote a book called Ripped at 50, and he is quite ripped. And he's got a beard that makes him look like you look like you were running across the United States and didn't stop. You got the Forrest Gump thing going, Troy.
Yeah, they say that a lot to me. So good, I'll keep it up.
Are you? Is that? I want to make sure you're going into my thing. Can you talk again? Let me
check microphone. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay,
7,
perfect.
8, 9,
You are. Sorry about that. A little technical difficulty these days. I only for the last 8 years did the shows live, and it's been so weird in these times, going with just Skype and not being next to the person and talking to the person. So where are you right now?
I'm in Santa Monica, California, where I've lived for the past 23 years. I've lived in Los Angeles. Santa Monica, I've lived for the last 13 years.
And this is like, there's a lot of healthy places in the world, but California, Southern California in particular, is a pretty health-conscious place. And I've noticed it's a small community of people that all know each other. How do you know Ronnie?
Good story about Ronnie. I met him at the Bison Farmers booth at the Wednesday Santa Monica Farmers Market, which is one of the best farmers markets in the world. I mean, he was just a stud, looking really good. And this is at the height of his CrossFit career. And he was buying organs, and so was I. And I didn't know a lot of people eating organs. And who turned me on to organs? Bobby Williams.
Bobby comes over to my house with a bison heart and tries to shovel it down and I'm like, no, Bobby, I'm not eating. He's like, eat this heart right now. He's like, it'll change your life.
Yep. Testicles. He got me on the testicles, man. I eat them with kimchi. They're amazing.
I have a video of Bobby complaining that Mariel threw out all his testicles. He's like, Mariel threw out all my testicles. My testosterone's low because I didn't have my testicles today. How do you cook your testicles?
I don't. I eat them raw with kimchi.
Oh.
That's how Bobby taught me how to eat it. And so, we used to get it from this raw food club here in Venice that he used to work at. And, he got me on the bison testicles, which I thought they were more powerful until I tried sheep's testicles, which for some reason just seemed to be more smooth and extremely powerful.
Let me ask you this. Was the raw food place that Bobby worked, was that the one that was raided because of the milk, the raw milk?
Yeah, I did all the reporting from Natural News at the time. Mike Adams and I were friends back in the day, and I made all those videos, and then I interviewed the great Paul Chek the next day on the same subject. And those videos are still up on my YouTube channel and Paul's.
So, I don't know much about it. I just remember thinking it was outrageous, and I don't know the ins and outs. There's probably usually there's two sides to every story, but all I saw was there's a raw foods place where people are getting raw milk, and because it's not homogenized or whatever it is, that they raided them, and it was like an FBI raid or something. What was it?
I mean, it was multi-layered. If you know anything about business, the government will come down on you if you don't have your P's and Q's in order. And I think this guy was a bit resistant, and he was selling food, and I think food's regulated, especially the milk board. So he raised a lot of attention, and then he was gave that the city and the authority figures the finger. And, FBI, they don't like that type of stuff. So they went in, they confiscated $50,000 worth of food, and they shut it down, whether they're right or wrong. And then he went into jail, and I think he did 80 hours in jail, freezing, and they flooded the toilets, and he got, sick, and then he put his tail between his legs, and he's like, fuck it, I'm not going to do this again. And and that was James, the owner. And Bobby will tell you about. I just don't think he wanted to pay taxes. I mean, just all the red flags.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so you're gonna do something underground to keep your nose clean.
Right.
It's like selling drugs.
Yeah.
What you want to sell? Oh, you think marijuana and let's say mushrooms should be legal because you say so, and you're one of the biggest mushrooms dealers out there, but it's still illegal, and then you want to go fuck you to the city? Expect the FBI to come down and.
So it was more than just a raw milk thing, because I was like, this is pretty outrageous that they're busting a place for raw milk.
Well, in actuality, no, it was really about raw milk. But look at the government that subsidizes milk. The whole milk industry and the farming industry is subsidized. So if somebody's selling highly nutritious food and it's not taxable or regulated, or they don't have a business license, and they're being very brash in the face of the public, the county supervisor or whoever regulates, food, if they're not dotting their, I's and crossing their T's properly, then those government institutions will come down, especially if you're giving the finger to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think it goes hand in hand. I think it's illegal I think it's a crime against humanity to take people's nutritious food away from them. And at the same time, we live in the modern world. If you're not doing things a certain way, you may have to pay the piper.
Sure. Because I've heard a lot of CrossFit gyms that I've been to, or not heard, seen, when I get there, they'll have their own raw milk, but it's because they own the cow. They'll buy a cow themselves at a farm, own the cow, get the milk every week from the cow, and that's like a legal way of doing it.
Yeah, there are legal ways around it. My friends in Miami, they get access to it. Look, the Amish are the ones who do most of the Jersey cow raw milk, and there's plenty of places, both my Miami friends and in California, that get 3,000 miles driven out in a refrigerated truck, and you pay $25 a gallon for this high-quality, raw, grass-fed Jersey cow milk.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the Amish even know about the coronavirus yet?
Well, I think because of the internet, nobody lives under a rock these days. So,
funny enough, on a tangent, I've spent some time with the Amish because I used to do stand-up comedy in I started in Pittsburgh, and Lancaster's not far away. It's like 4 hours away. And the owner of the comedy club, was it in Pittsburgh? Booked a club in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So every year, about twice a year, I'd go to Lancaster and do shows there. And I got into the Amish while I was there and ended up befriending a bunch of Amish kids that were, it was before, like pre-Rumspringer. And that's when they go out and they get to like go nuts and go crazy, and they decide if they're going to come back to the church. And so I found these kids that partied so hard, these Amish kids, and they would go to a barn. They would ride their horse and buggies to this guy's barn. He rented it to him. I met the guy that owned the barn, and he's like, "You want to come over and see something?" I was like, "Yeah, let's go." And I show up, and these kids are, they would ride their horse and buggies over, take their Amish clothes off, put on like Philadelphia Eagles jerseys and like Metallica shirts and like totally come out of their Amishness. And they had a rock band, and it was like underground, and that like hooking up their electric guitars, and they played, and they were good. They were really good, and they would play, and they would do a lot of cocaine. And so I wanted to do a documentary film on them, and I thought it was hysterical that there's like this underground Amish rock band. And I found a director who I knew that was going to do it, and we were going to we had talked to them a couple times, or our liaison, who was the guy that owned the barn. And at the last minute, the kids pulled the plug, and they wanted to join the church someday, or wanted the option. And if we did this was basically excommunicating them. But it was, at the time I was like, God, this is my Academy Award winner. And it just never happened. But I wonder where those kids are now. Probably raising a barn.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, they get good food, because I've been out to the East Coast as well. And Michigan. There's a lot of Amish in Michigan. And for some reason, they like to make wholesome food.
Sure. Simplicity, farming. It's funny, rich people, I always say, rich people get all this money. They work so hard to get all this money, and then what do they do with their money? They buy a farm. When they could have just owned a farm, didn't have to work that hard to get there.
Right?
Yeah.
Simplicity is key, especially in today's complex days.
One of the hardest things to get in the grocery store right now, ice cream. And should you be eating ice cream anyways? Probably not, because most of the ice cream in the grocery store is crap. There's a few good ones that use real ingredients, but there's nothing out there as good as Real Good Foods ice cream. I call it Real Good Foods. I want to talk to the owners of Real Good Foods and change their name to Really Amazing Foods. It's like the most amazing ice cream you'll ever have in your life. Here's why. It's delicious. It's extra creamy. It doesn't have that icy or chalky texture of those other like light ice creams. You don't taste it and go, that was weird. When you eat an ice cream that's good for you or healthier or doesn't have all the crap in it, and you eat it and you're like, oh, this'll do, but it's, I guess it's okay for being healthy. This isn't like that. This is like you eat it and you go, oh my God, this is amazing. It's only 4 grams of sugar and 180 calories per serving too, because it's sweetened with this thing called allulose, which is a natural occurring sweetener that you find in maple syrup. So it's a natural sugar. It's a naturally occurring rare sugar. And it's 1/10 the calories of cane sugar, and it has no impact on blood glucose. Okay? So how good's that? It's not going to spike your blood sugar levels. That's the problem. Your blood sugar levels gets spiked, and then you store fat. Well, it's not going to happen with this, okay? And unlike artificial sweeteners and sugar alcohols, which are produced with chemicals, the allulose in the Real Good Foods ice cream is produced through a natural enzymatic process, so it doesn't metabolize like traditional sugar, all right? And it's kind of like the sugar-free sugar. Got it? Does that make sense? It's made with fresh milk and cream. It's got 16% butter fat. Butter fat, yeah. Makes their ice cream classified as super premium real ice cream. This is real ice cream. Okay, here's the deal. The pints are only available online at realgoodfoods.com, or actually your local vitamin shop can have them too. But go to realgoodfoods.com and because if you order right now from them, you're going to get an extra. You order now, you get a free limited edition mystery flavor pint and free shipping. It's a good time to get that. So the bundle includes 5 pints for $49.99. Free shipping. Let me tell you the flavors: chocolate, Tanzanian vanilla, mint chocolate chip, peanut butter chocolate chip, and then, as I said, the mystery flavor. So go to realgoodfoods.com and order these up, and then thank me. Hey, do you need some earbuds to work out? You're stuck at home working out. You're going for runs. Everybody's running a lot right now. Everybody's out running. It's great to see. I go around my neighborhood. I never I never saw anybody working out ever. Now everybody is. Well, it's a perfect time to get yourself some really good earbuds. You know what I'm talking about. Those headphones that you stick in your ear and they don't fall out. Yes, that's what you want. Well, these are the best ones out there that are at basically half the price of the other ones. So it's just, everybody's tried them. Everybody knows. There's no arguing about it. The other ones are great. Yeah. Why would you pay the same amount when you can get them for half the price? These Raycon earbuds literally start at half the price of the premium ones that are on the market. You know those other brands, I'm not going to talk about them, but their newest model, the Everyday E25 earbuds, are the best ones yet. They get 6 hours of playtime. That'll match anybody. They've got seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, more compact design, gives you a nice noise isolating fit. And they're super, super comfortable. Okay. You can use them like they've got a phone if you want to use them for conference calls or, listen to podcasts, whatever you do, books on tape, whatever you do, check these out. They're perfect for you. And like I said, they look good. They're stylish. They don't have dangling wires. You can do everything with them. And they were co-founded by Ray J. Started this company. You know, everybody knows Ray J. And everybody's using them. Snoop Dogg, Cardi B, Melissa Etheridge, Brandy, J.R. Smith. They're all using them. Why aren't you? Pick up a pair, okay, and see what all the hype's about. You want to get 15% off your Raycons, huh? Do you? Well, order them at buyraycon.com/wadcast. Buy Raycon. That's Raycon, R-A-Y-C-O-N. So it's BUYRAYCON.com/wadcast. Buy Raycon.com/wadcast. Buy Raycon.com/wadcast. Buy Raycon.com/wadcast. Do you want to kill me right now? I do. 15% off, though. You're not going to kill me after you get some Raycons with that, huh? Stick them in your ear. I just moved macro stacks to my front page of my iPhone because being here at home and it's all I do is exercise and eat and take care of the kids. And so I need to track my calories, especially right now, because you don't realize being at home how much more you're eating. And you need to know what you're eating, what your macros are, how many carbs, how much protein. As so many people are gaining weight right now, and it's because they don't realize what they're eating. You need to know. Macro Stacks is perfect for that. You get a subscription to Macro Stacks, you're going to get free nutrition coaching. You're going to get recipes, which are family friendly. And right now, you feel like you're in the kitchen all the time. My wife says, all I do is cook. We'll do some meal prepping. And she started doing that. And the next thing you know, all of a sudden we have all these meals and she doesn't have to cook. And I just go to the refrigerator, reheat some stuff. And Macro Stacks can really help you with that. They've got a community that'll help you. It's very supportive. And, a lot of people out there don't know much about your nutrition. Well, this is time to dial in. Yeah, people should be taking more advantage right now of what's going on. If you're on this lockdown, don't look at it negatively. Look at it positively. And the fact that days are going to go by, maybe months, and you're going to look back on this and be like, oh my God, it was terrible. Or you can go, wow, I just had 2 months to get my shit together. So Macro Stacks helps you with that. You're going to get your nutrition. You're going to dial it in. Here's what they're doing to help you during this time. They got free consults with a coach that can help you with your personal situation. Like I said, access to hundreds of recipes. They've got daily nutrition, fitness tips, and best of all, they've got this app that I love. And it's a web-based app. It's not an app. Like you don't go to the app store and get it. It's web-based. So you go to macrostacks.com and you just hold on it and then it saves to your phone. And I use it constantly. And you just put in all the things you're eating and it'll tell you how many carbs, how much protein, how much fat, and you can take a photo, it'll do the barcode for you, you can type it in, or it's already in there. It'll just scan it for you. It's great and it's simple. And after you do it for a little bit, you'll just get a general idea and you maybe won't have to do it. Like that happened to me for a while. I just start going, oh shit, I didn't realize I was eating too much of this or not enough of this, and just gets you on track. And the coaches, nothing better. All of you, everybody needs coaching. So they've got free virtual consults if you need them, okay, which will help you what to eat. So check out Macro Stacks. Like I said, it's a web app. And so you're going to go to macrostacks.com. That's it, macrostacks.com to learn more. If you want to get 25% off your Macro Stacks subscription, visit Macro Stacks, that's macrostacks.com, and enter the code WADCAST. That's Macro Stacks, macrostacks.com. Enter WADCAST. Okay? So for our listeners, I want to let them know that like you have an extensive background and you've been everywhere. You started out as a model. You guys like you, it's tough for me because you're like, look at me, I'm ripped. I worked so hard to get there. And it's like, come on, you've got amazing genes. You've got to have been like a male model. You you had incredible genes, but you say you went through alcoholism, drug addiction, you had black mold. Mm-hmm. That's the freakiest, scariest. I think I'd rather have drug addiction than black mold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know about it, but if you know about it, yeah, it's deadly.
What was it in your house in or apartment and where?
From 2010 to 2013, we lived in a penthouse apartment overlooking the ocean. We moved in the summer. It was, painted over. The car, everything was dry because it was coming in. It was hot and dry in the summertime. And the building had water damage, and I didn't know that until I started interviewing the neighbors. The neighbor was all stuffed up one day in the elevator, and I was just like, "Do you have respiratory, issues?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, before you guys moved in here, we had 5 floods where the sprinkler system broke, and I had ankle deep water in my penthouse apartment multiple times." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And then I started. The old lady next door to me. There was mold, water stains on the roof, and she was always in and out of the hospital. And she was older; she was in her 90s or 80s or something, but she was a real firecracker. And I was just like, "Why is this woman always sick?" Like she was a great person to talk to and everything. And so I just started putting two together. The neighbor down from him had MS. He had like weird stuff going on in his legs. The neighbors across the hallway were extremely sick and obese and clogged. And so I just started putting two together. And then we had the place tested, and it was nuked. We had Stracobotris and Aspergillus penicillium.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know what either of those are, but they sound bad.
They're deadly.
Yeah.
Stracobotris is black mold.
Okay. And so black mold does what to you exactly?
Well, I think everyone's issues are different. For me, I had weird neurological issues. I had this guy's a comedian, Troy, and a CrossFitter. He's friends with Ronnie. So I had weird neurological dysfunction. I had chronic fatigue. I had 4 to 5 upper respiratory infections the years I was living there. I was a new parent. These guys were, he was about 3 and my daughter had just come. And so I just thought I was an exhausted new parent. If
I'm there right now.
Oh, yeah. So there you go. So I was just like, oh my God, this parenthood. And I was in my 40s too. I just figured, oh, this is par for the course for having kids. But then I had upper respiratory infections and yellow stuff was coming out of me. And again, it took me a while to put it together. My wife thought she had allergies. She's like, it's the carpet. I was like, what could be wrong? The place is amazing. And it's like 1,800 square foot overlooking the ocean in Santa Monica. And I was like, I don't want to move from there.
Yeah.
And so eventually we started putting 2 and 2 together. I had weird neurological dysfunction. And
when you say weird neurological function, what kind of thing?
Like spaghetti legs, and I'm a barefoot walker and love to walk daily, and my legs don't function like felt like they were going to fall out from underneath me. Weird pain, like it felt like a weakness. Like I'm a strong person, but it felt like my legs were weak, and then I would have weird arthritic pain that would go from joint to joint, like inside of my groin, outside of my hip, and it would move from day to day. And I noticed that stress would exacerbate it. So I had to reverse engineer it and use all my holistic health protocols. And sleep is the number one way you heal the body. So first and foremost, we had to get out of the toxicity. And we moved into another house that had mold. We moved 10 times to really find a stable environment. It also had a huge effect on our relationship, had a huge effect on my brain and money-making potential and building as an entrepreneur, ups and downs in business, which had a toll on the relationship. And then subsequently, we ended up going through a divorce. And then luckily, I put everything all back together and did a lot of healing work on myself, really getting my mind right and said, mind over matter. No matter what's going on with me, I'm going to heal this. And then I brought my family back together and I healed my body. I'm about, I would say 99% healed. Sometimes if I don't watch my stress levels, I get intramuscular pain too. So I have a thing in my subscap right now. I know as a CrossFitter, you probably understand.
Every day.
You get these little tweaks and you're like, shit, and I like to pump weights because I like to feel strong and get the testosterone boosting. And sometimes I got to take some time off and let things rest and heal. And so I really got into Qigong as well. And Qigong helped me heal, just nutrition, sleep, hydration, reprogrammed my mind, did a lot of hypnosis and meditation, and just applied all the principles that I teach in my book, foundation principles, the 9 pillars of health, I've deemed it. And now I'm 54 and I'm like, all right, I have some semblance of health. Let me go out there and share, what I know. 70% of the American people are still obese or overweight. 1 in 3 has diabetes. So these principles that I teach apply to anyone, healthy or sick. And that's how I rebuilt my body as well.
That's pretty scary, because it's one of those things. It's like you don't hear a lot about it, and you're like, is this controlling me? Is it in my head? What's happening? It's like I've had friends with chronic fatigue syndrome, or anyone with Lyme's disease, or something that the doctors can't really put a finger on, which is, I got a lot of good friends that are doctors, and they'll tell you, we're guessing 70% of the time anyway. So when you go to them, especially, I'll go see a doctor and they'll go, oh, you have this. And then you go see another doctor. No, he's wrong. You have this. And then you go, do you guys know anything? Like, I'm sure you're way more educated than me, but I feel like, like recently with this, I talked to Dr. Drew. I had him on the show 2 weeks ago, and another doctor friend, and I was talking about an overactive immune system. If you can have an immune system that's so strong that it can affect you negatively with the coronavirus. And they were like, no, that's crazy. You don't understand how how it works and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I know, I'm an idiot. I'm not a doctor. I said, but it just seems like if you're having an overreactive immune system, like a histamine response kind of thing, then having a good immune system could hurt you with this kind of virus. And they're like, no. And then I saw Fauci just say something about it the other day, and I'm like, that's just my dumb theory. I'm just an idiot. And he was saying that's why they're seeing some really healthy people come down with this virus. And, and it was a fear of mine. I was like, hey, maybe you can be too healthy for this thing.
Well, and you're making a really good point. And here's the thing. I've studied philosophy for many years, and as far as I can see on this planet, in our existence, the only truth we really have is I am here right now, and that goes from Plato to Descartes.
Yeah.
And everything else is opinion, conjecture, theory, hypothesis, story. How we propelled stories, around the fire back in our anthropological days, was we would tell stories to teach lessons and stuff like that. And that's what you're seeing all over the internet. Clickbait. Coffee's good for you. Coffee's bad for you. Bone broth's good for you. Bone broth's bad for you. And it's like, bone broth's bad for the environment. Like, everybody's got an opinion. They want to sell you their little clickbait so you get the eyeballs on your blog or vlog. And that's the way the internet goes around. And so at the end of the day, individuals are going to have to test things first in their intuition. Does this sound right or does this sound wrong? Okay, let me try it. Let's dig down to bedrock. Let me see how well this works for a long or short period of time. Does it have efficacy with me? Because we're all unique. So the only truth in the world, as far as I can see, is I am here right now. Interesting
you say that, because with little things that I've had throughout my lifetime, I'll get something wrong with me, maybe a respiratory infection or something, and I deal with it for a little bit, and I'll try everything I read on the internet. I'll go to every doctor. I'll be like, I need to and then sometimes it won't heal. And then there's a moment where kind of I feel like mentally I just say, I'm done with this. And I can't do this anymore, and I can't have this, and I don't want this in my life. And somehow, people are going to say I'm hokey and crazy right now, but I mentally expel it out of my body. And I think the mind-body connection is not studied enough, not known enough, and stronger than we even think. And I think there's proof with the placebo effect. But I just think there's so much of a mental connection with people and health and how healthy they are and what they think and what they give themselves and stress, you say. And but I think there's a lot of that. So I all these things can happen to you, especially like even with this virus that's going around. There's people that, why are some people experiencing it and being asymptomatic, and some people have it? And I get that there's science to everything, but I think there's parts of the science that aren't being studied.
Well, and people throw around the word science as if it was just written in stone, but science is a methodology of observation, ever evolving as we evolve. And so I think I heard the quote one time: 2/3 of all Nobel Prizes get overturned within the first 10 years.
Wow.
So, we're always discovering new information or new angles, or how it applies to one organism. I'm with Wim Hof. I do believe that the final frontier is going to be mind over matter. And I had the same issue when I had all this neurological dysfunction, autoimmune, chronic fatigue. I was working out with Marcus Bondi. He's the calisthenics king of the world. He's my age, 50.
Is he over in Australia?
Yeah. He was here like 3 or 4 years ago, and he was just an amazing guy, very positive, really loved
I know him. Yeah.
Him. And I was explaining my dysfunction and how I couldn't get my body back online. He was looking at me going, "What?" And I was just like, I was like, okay, no matter what the fuck's wrong with me, I got to stop speaking it into existence, and I'm going to solve my problems, whether it's Lyme or autoimmune or black mold. I don't care what it is, but I'm just going to stop telling myself this story, and I'm going to heal myself. And that's when I challenged myself on the road to Yoked, and I said, if I go to the gym and lift 5-pound dumbbells at Gold's Gym, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks of me or looks at me. I'm going to build my shoulders, build my arms, start doing dips, assisted dips, deadlifts with the bar. I don't care. I'm going to do it and do compound joint structures, and I'm going to get yoked. And I just did it like water on granite. I just showed up every single day and did exercises that I had the athletic ability for. And I slowly but surely got my muscles back online. Bobby challenged me as well. He was like, "Troy, you've got a great physique, and but you're not doing yourself justice." He did this early on when I first started having kids back in, I think it was 46. It was about 2007, 2008. He was grabbing my arm, trying to wrestle me and shit, punching me in the arm and stuff. And he's like, "Dude, you need to lift some weights." And so that rang in the back of my head, man. And a few years ago, I got back into Gold's, and I said, "Fuck it," and and just started doing it, and got my body back online. And now I'm completely hooked, and I plan on continuing to do that. Even though I get the little tweaks and stuff like that, I know how to do qigong and go back to the drawing board. And
did Bobby get you into the qigong?
No.
Oh, because we went to the CrossFit Games last year to watch Hunter compete. And
I love Hunter.
And Bobby and I shared a hotel room, and that was the strangest experience of my entire life. First of all, I don't like sharing a hotel room with a grown man. I'm on the road every single week doing stand-up, and, I don't even, like I have an opener that comes with me. I never share a room with an opener. I'm sharing a room with Bobby, and we got home to the hotel room after we were out for dinner, and Bobby starts going to work on the room. And it took him 45 minutes to completely seal every window so that there was no light at all coming through. I saw him unplugging the alarm clock, turning computers off, and I was like, "You do this every night?" And he's like, "Well, my house is built for this, but you can't have any light. He's like, wait till you see how you sleep. Wait till you see how you sleep. So the next thing I know, I'm in a cave. I can't see my hand in front of my face. He's made it. We're in like a complete and total darkness. And I'm afraid like Bobby's going to like sexually assault me while I'm sleeping or something. Like, why is this happening? So, so I finally wake up. I slept like 10 hours or something. I had never slept like that. So I sleep like 10 hours and I wake up in the morning to Bobby has ripped all the stuff off the windows. He's got bright light coming in. He's in his underwear, standing on the bed doing these exercises in his bed. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, you got to move the body. You got to move the body. And he pulls out bands and things out of his bag. And I lay in bed, and for the next hour, he prepared himself for the day. And he's like, I'm all ready, Ed. I'm all ready. I've got it. He's like, I did my Tai Chi. I did my Qigong. And I was like, he's like, he kept going, you gotta try this. You gotta try this. And I was like, it's okay, Bob. I'll go to the gym later. And he's like, no, you're not ready for the gym yet. You got to get ready for the gym. And I was like, I don't have the time you have. He's unbelievable.
Oh, dude. That's so funny. There you go. Someone's more nuttier than me.
I don't know. But I saw a video of you and Simon Rex doing Qigong, and I didn't know Simon was such a health nut.
Yeah, he's always been kind of healthy-minded, but he's also, he's on the road like you and rap star. And,
yeah.
He partied his ass off, so I think he kind of tries to balance that out with some yoga and some nutrition.
Yeah, I did a little bit of that myself too, and just as I get older, I can't do that. That doesn't make me feel good anymore. This makes me feel good. So, I was just telling my wife, like I didn't quit drinking. I'll still have a beer here and there, or one or two. And the other day, I felt bad, and I was like, I feel terrible. What is it? And I had 2 beers, and I was like, geez, I can't even have 2. Like 2 is too much for me, and I just woke up feeling depressed and lethargic, and I was like, oh wow, I'm like done with this completely. Like I just like the taste of a beer, and but not enough to feel that way.
Right.
And
that's what happened to me with my drinking career as well. Eventually, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. My hangovers were like the flu 5 days in a row. I mean,
yeah.
It was like,
yeah. High school, college, I could drink 15 beers at a time, no problem. Like sit down and literally drink 15 beers, and now 2, and I'm dead to the world. So I'm done. It's never, ever, ever more than 1 for me, ever. I think
I held the record I lived at the Clevelander Hotel in Miami Beach from 95 to 97. And I lived next door to it from 90 to 93. And so I knew everybody there. I drank for free. I think I might have done 50 beers or drinks in one night, because I used to drink Scotch and Heineken, and then the cocaine guy would come over the house and give me free cocaine because he knew I knew everybody.
You were his connector.
Yeah, totally.
So did you quit on your own, or did you have to go through any kind of rehab?
No, I never went to rehab. I put myself through my own rehab, and I did go to AA there for a little while. There was something about, it wasn't the principles of AA, because I think the principles in the 12 steps have tremendous value if people actually do them. But I just saw that the people running the programs, and I know there's meetings all over the world, and I'm sure there's guys that are running a really good program. I just thought that it was too much amateur stuff. And, I was in South Beach, and, you're not supposed to have any kind of sexual relationship. And the gay dudes were all trying to pick up on me. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
At the meetings. Yeah.
It was just like discrepancy upon discrepancy. So after about 4 years of that, of trying to sober up and back and forth, I had a bad New Year's Eve one night with a relationship, and I was just like, never again. And step 11, the guys used to talk about step 11. They had this je ne sais quoi about meditation. And I was just like, there's something there. And so I started researching meditation. I made a New Year's resolution, which I'd never done before. And I just started sitting. I've got this meditation pillow now. I think I've had it for about 21 years.
Wow.
And I just started sitting, and my life dramatically changed. I got the anxiety out of me. And then somebody turned me on to Vipassana meditation, S.N. Goenka. I sat a 10-day course in silence for 10 days straight, and that revolutionized my consciousness. And since then, I've sat 11 of those, and I practiced religiously on this pillow.
Whoa. What? Let me interrupt for a second. So 10 days of silence, 11 times. So you've done 110 days of silence?
At least, yeah.
Oh, God, I can't do 15 minutes. I need it.
And that changed my life, And those camps are great. If anybody wants to check it out, it's D as in dog, DHAMMA.org. And they're free or donation basis. And they're comprehensive. You go and sit, shut the fuck up, and sit for 10 or 12 hours a day. And you are going to go through your mind.
Wow.
And see how that mind stores tension in the body and unwind both of them.
And my wife did something like that in China. She was working in China for a little bit, and she went to some monk or some monastery and did some kind of thing. And to me, that's prison. Going into my own mind is prison. And, I have trouble. I've got a thing called claustrophobia, which is fear of being trapped. And it manifests in, like, if I get in an elevator. I can't get in an elevator. I actually can't ride elevators. I had trouble with airplanes for a while, and it was a real problem because of, my job. When the airplane would land and they'd say something like, hey, we don't have a gate available. We're going to sit here and wait. And that's when I would freak out. And it was this, just terrible feeling of being trapped, of, I surf a lot. And when I'd get held down for a while, I would really freak out, or I got handcuffed once and lost it. Just trapped. Anything trapped. Seatbelts. Can't ride roller coasters. And I've wanted to cure it. I went and got hypnotized, and the hypnotist in Santa Monica put me in a trance where I was trapped. Like, she did what I was afraid of, and I freaked out even worse and was like, I'm not going back there. It's something I've constantly said I got to get a hold of. I got to fix this. I almost everything else in my life, any kind of injury or something, I go, I'm injured, I got to fix it. And I do. This is one thing I haven't been able to fix.
What do you think it comes from?
I read a lot of phobias come from when you're born, or when you're young, really, really young. Something that happened to you, like some kind of trauma or anything. I've read those. A lot of people with claustrophobia, which is very similar, fell in a pool, which I did as a kid. And that can, trigger something that, or put a scar on you that you have for a while. I can't figure out. I was in an oxygen tent as a child. I had pneumonia. Maybe the difficulty breathing or something. I don't know. It's just, I hate it. And I've found, weirdly, a lot of stand-up comedians have it.
Yeah. I mean, I know that comedy comes from a lot of pain and stuff, and I could totally understand that. So my question to you is I bet one of your best attempts to clear that would be rebirthing. Have you done the holotropic breathing?
No.
Yeah, because that will take you back to the birth canal.
What is holotropic breathing?
So it's just cyclical breathing. It's like the Wim Hof.
Okay, so I've done Wim Hof a lot. And in fact, I went to Bobby introduced me to it. I did that with Bobby, Mariel, and Brian McKenzie. And I do Wim's, I follow his app, and every once in a while when I'm feeling anxiety or anything, I do it.
But I'm talking about an hour and a half.
Whoa, an hour and a half. For an hour and a half.
I just dropped a video on my channel. I did it with the O2 Awakening. Lucas Mack, he's Jake Paul's breathwork coach and spiritual teacher for his boxing. And I did an hour and a half with my wife I'm over there full Kundalini awakening with in a pretzel with my leg behind my head, and my wife is over there screaming on the battlefield of Korea of her ancestors and stuff. It was so fucking funny, dude. Yeah, so do that, bro. I got some practitioners that you can work with, but do holotropic breathing. Research it. Leonard Orr or Stanislaus Grof. This is the real psychedelic mechanism, you know, the cyclical breathing. Wim Hof does it as well if you go out to see him in Poland. You lay down on the ground and you just start breathing, and you breathe like that for an hour. And it's called rebirthing because eventually you go through the birth canal and your hands can get tetany and you feel like you're going to freeze up, and you come out of it like, fuck, you're like, it's rebirthing. You're reborn again. You're so clean and clear. Wow. And all that emotional garbage and mental stuff that just keeps our nervous system entangled, vaporized.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you, this lockdown that we're in, it's not much different the way I live. I live up here in Malabama, right near where Bobby and Mario lived. And
where Malabama?
I call it Malabama, up in the mountains. And my life is not much different, except there is that overwhelming, like, hey, you're not allowed to go anywhere. You're not allowed. And I have been forced to put that aside. I could see this being kind of like trapping me and feeling like, oh my God, I'm trapped. I can't go to the airport. I can't get on a plane. I can't go to another city, state, wherever I need to. Can't surf. Can't do this. But I'm actually dealing with it pretty well. And I think it's almost like I said, and like you said before we got on the show, this has been a really good time. There's so much positive shit that has come out of this. Incredible amounts. Connecting with people and family and friends. And, it's amazing how we're not allowed to be around people, yet I've connected with some of my old friends more than I have in the last 10 years. So.
The recalibration.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I think a lot of it is the earth saying, like, you've been shitting on me for a long time. I need a break.
Yeah. And energetically, you listen to some of the spiritual woo-woos, we are going through an ascension process. The frequency and vibration, the octave, the energetic octave is completely shifting on this planet, and our spiritual being is also being lifted up. The frequency is oscillating higher, is word around the spiritual campfire. So, hey, bring that on, man. I'm looking for higher levels of consciousness, in my humble opinion.
So are you on full lockdown there in Santa Monica?
Dude, I'm so hard to fucking lock down, bro. I'm a wild animal. I go out and I walk on the grass every day, take my bike down to the beach a few times a week, get my kids out there. You know, I'm over near Santa Monica College, so we play hide and seek in the college with the kids, which is amazing. It's a decent sized campus. I keep moving. I have to have respect for people's where they're at psychologically. So, but other than that, I mean, I'm a health guy. I don't care what's coming down the pike. I'm a warrior as well. It's like, you got to deal with whatever the fuck it is until you die. Yeah. Until you're in the grave. Yeah. And there's viruses and fungus and bacteria and parasites everywhere, and government and rich people having agendas and them playing with the money, which plays with my survival and potential violence. And here, I got to navigate all that shit. The homeless live everywhere, in this warm city. And now that they don't have any money to beg, and it's just like, things are getting a little creepy. So it's just like, I got to be strong and just be in the present moment. That's what I got to do, whether we're living in utopia or dystopia. I still got to be that guy who just shows up in the present moment. Yeah,
I tried to explain. I have a friend right now who's an addict who's going through some tough times. Like, this has been tough for him, and he's like, I'm starting to lose hope because he's 50 years old and he just feels like he's never going to kick this thing. And I said, look, just start living in the moment. I said, these are supposed to be like, everybody's talking about, oh my God, these are like, we're going through this pandemic. I've had some of the best times of my life. during this pandemic. And I've recognized those moments. You know, there's times when I'm with my kids and I'm like, I wouldn't have had this moment if this wasn't going on. There's times when I'm like riding my bike down these mountain roads where no one is right now, that I like I saw Catalina the other day. Like, I've never seen Catalina before. It was like so vivid. And the smog, they're saying Southern California has one of the healthiest airs in the world right now. And
we were top 5 worst in the world for many years.
Yeah. And right now it is we have one of the cleanest airs in the world. And it has a lot to do with the Bay and everything, but it just shows you like there's a lot of positive shit out of this. Yeah. So, and you're also a big fan of the ayahuasca too, right?
Yeah, I started working the Amazon rainforest in 2006. I started working with an herbal company in 2005, and then I went down and researched the plants. And YouTube was a brand new reality, so I started putting it out there and did work with the shamans. Brought cameras into ceremony, which had kind of never been done. Yeah. Put that stuff up on YouTube. So I've been working with ayahuasca since 2006.
Have you ever seen the ayahuasca trip that 2 guys are on where the one guy freaks out? It's on YouTube. One guy freaks out and goes, like, runs for it. He just takes off and they chase him down and he's just losing it. He's just running through the jungle. And it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I have a pretty sick sense of humor, so that's right up my alley. But I wonder,
I'd love to see it.
I'll find it and I'll send you it. I'm curious about ayahuasca because a buddy, I've never done it. I'm not really that interested in it. I've had too much trouble with edibles and marijuana, but a buddy of mine does a comedy show all about psychedelics, and he's, a self-proclaimed expert and has done everything and anything and studies it and loves it and does a comedy show. His name's Shane Moss, and he travels all over the world. Mauss. And he's great. He's hilarious. But you sit and talk to him. He's like Rain Man of psychedelics. And he's always said, why do ayahuasca when you can do DMT?
Well, there's, and I understand the difference of the mechanisms, but for someone like you that doesn't want to do ayahuasca, that's what I was going to say. You should try 5-MeO-DMT and go see my shaman, locally. And because you're in and out within 20 minutes of the experience, and you're pretty much done probably within 2 hours. So it's very short and sweet. Don't have to fly to the Amazon. You're going to meet God, and it's going to be done and over with. So, and then you probably don't need another experience. The ayahuasca is going to go through your genetic lineage, and it's kind of more of an ancestral thing, or actually it's, nature from the primordial soup of minerals all the way into the astral plane. And so it's going to have a different spiritual component. Each one serves its purpose, but people have to kind of be where they're at, start where they're at. And doing ayahuasca is not necessarily right for everyone. I recommend people go down to the jungle and experience it and take yourself out of the city centers and go really down there to do some healing. The 5-MeO-DMT is like a shotgun blast or shooting you out of a cannon. And you're going to go meet God and come back, real quick, although it can seem like a lifetime or many, many lifetimes, just that 20 minutes. So each one has their poison, but not everybody has to do it. It's just if you want a deeper glimpse into your own spirituality and your own life here on earth, you're facing a life-debilitating disease. It can open up that mental and emotional body. It can open up the spiritual body as well. Because sometimes we just get locked into that physical realm, and the physical is the last manifestation from the unseen world, the spiritual, the emotional, and the mental. The emotions drive our behavior. The mental construct is what shows up, ultimately in the body. The mind is an embodied process, if you will. So to unravel some difficult situations in the body, little psychedelics can always help.
Yeah, I've talked to Rogan about it many times, about doing it, and he's like, you just got to do it. And I'm like, I'm surprised at some of my friends that have never done drugs that'll do DMT. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, it's not. And I really literally have had some, I ate a pot cookie one time that opened doors that didn't close. And it was the start of anxiety for me. And I was talking to Dr. Drew about it, and he's like, yeah, there's certain people that it can trigger something in your brain. And, and there have been schizophrenic people that can go back to that was what was the trigger that started it. And so I try to stay, it was bad. A couple times I've had it, I stayed off it for a while. I was like, okay, I'm never smoking weed again. And then all of a sudden, boom, I was back there again. And then one time I was actually, do you know Brian Callen?
Yeah, I know Brian. So
I'm with Brian, and we were having dinner next to the Comedy Store, and he goes, hey, let's go over to the Comedy Store. And I was like, okay. So we go over, and I hadn't eaten dinner. I met them at dinner, and I'm starving. And we come over to the Comedy Store, and we're talking to Rogan, and some girl comes up to me, and she's like, you want a muffin? And I'm like, yeah, I'm so hungry. And I just grab the muffin and eat it. And then Brian says to Joe, what's the show? What was the show tonight? And Joe goes, oh, it was some fundraiser for medicinal marijuana. And as soon as he said that, I go, was that an edible I just ate? And they both, Brian and Rogan's like, I think. And I look at the girl, I go, is that a pot in it? And she's like, yeah. And I just look at them, I go, I got to get the fuck out of here. And they're like, what? I'm like, I got to get home. And they're like, why? I'm like, you guys have no idea what I'm about to go through. And I just got home as fast as I could and just got ready for it. And luckily it was pretty fun. But I was just terrified because what I had been through. So I don't know if I could handle the DMT.
Well, the thing I'd also like to say about psychedelics is, doing ayahuasca and stuff like that, it really helps to have a spiritual practice, to have a ballast, a support mechanism, because the psychedelics, if you're looking to break through your own consciousness, is only 50% of the work. Once you get the phone call, hang it up, and then what are you going to do about the information that you
I got you. I get you. That's like it's funny you say that. That Tommy Chong, who I know very well, said something very similar to me. I was telling him he said to me one day, he goes, "Hey man, how's your weed?" And I go, "Oh Tommy, I don't touch it anymore." And he's like, "Why not, man?" And I said, I got these panic attacks really bad, these anxiety attacks." And he goes, "Oh, that's not the weed, that's you." He goes, you got the demons." He goes, "You got to work that out, man." He goes, "Next time you smoke weed, you got to do it in the right presence of mind. You got to have you got to be like reading the Bible or listening to the symphony or something, because you're letting all the demons in." And it made sense to me that it was like all the stuff that was going on, I was just, manifesting right then. Whereas if I was in a good environment because when the thing happened to me, I was in a terrible environment. And if I had been in like a loving situation with my, wife or whatever it be, or where I'm happy at home, it probably never would have happened. So I think it was just a kind of an, it was the catalyst to what was happening. So.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, I love Tommy Chong and what he represents. I mean, he's kind of that. He's like the pot shaman,
yeah.
Kind of just knows. So, and he probably doesn't say stuff like that very often, but you want to listen. The guy, some type of expertise.
Yeah.
Because I get really weird on pot too, and in recent years, because it's really helped me with my children when I start getting too out of control. And my father, who grew up in orphanages and was traumatized and abused as a kid, he was a saint on marijuana and a devil without it. And so I think and if you can work through those emotional issues, great. But if you can't, then marijuana serves its purpose in society, that he's not killing people. And so, but I noticed that I have, my own paranoia and issues when I'm on it. But I noticed that it helped me with my kids and stuff. So then in recent years, because I like to be as sober as possible all the time. In recent years, whenever I've utilized an edible or smoked a little bit, I try and stay as present with it as I can. Why am I shy around people? Why don't I like to do business? Why don't I like to look people in the eye? And I start playing with my own consciousness while I'm on it. But again, I do my best work stone cold sober, clear. I just think that marijuana or any kind of drugs and altered state substance can help, lower muscle tension, shift consciousness where you can look at things differently. So I think all substance serves purpose. Having respect and reverence for the substance can help you have greater understanding so it doesn't have dominion over you for addiction. That's my summation that I realized on San Pedro with an Andean shaman in Ecuador in 2008. I realized that.
So when did you write your book, Ripped at 50?
I started writing it about 4 years ago. Before I turned 50, my mind thinks in terms of marketing, or when I make videos, I think in terms of editing. I think with the end result in mind. So I started writing it before I turned 50, #Ripped at 50, a journey to self-love. And then it just progressed through different stages of editing and rewrites. And I just finished it November 15th of last year.
Oh, you did? Okay. That's great. And that's available on your site or on Amazon?
Yeah, it's on TroyCasey.com right now, and or rippedat50book.com. We're doing a collector's edition coffee table book, if you will. So I really like the artwork that we created and the sacred geometry. And so we're doing the pre-launch on the hardcover now because I'm self-publishing it and self-marketing it.
Right.
And then I do believe later on we'll do Audible and Amazon and all that stuff. So we're in the first phase of marketing right now.
My dogs do not like UPS trucks, FedEx trucks, and those guys come like 50 times a day now. So that's them if you hear them barking in the background. Your book, so you're one of these guys that I was looking at, I didn't read your book. I apologize for that. I will. But I was looking at some of the stuff that's in there. You say you're like you can pretty much you were fat at one point, which I find that hard to believe. But you said that you can pretty much eat anything. And when you say eat anything, I have a feeling you eat really healthy, though.
Yeah. What happened was I gained weight. I gained the freshman 15, if you will, the freshman 15 or the freshman, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Now it's called the freshman 30.
No, that's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, but look, you don't know how to cook food. Your mom's cooking food for you. You go to college, and lo and behold, sorry, I got to fix my phone thing here. All right, that doesn't work. Okay, here we go. So, you get into college and you start cooking for yourself. I was eating bread and cheese and chorizo burritos down in San Diego, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I gained that freshman 15, a little bit of pudge, allergic to gluten. Took me years to figure that piece out. And then a lot of people said I should be a model. And so I started taking pictures, and then, the agents were like, you need to lose a little bit of weight. And I was like, I didn't know. Some European chick, exchange student, was staying with my girlfriend, and she's like, he's fat. And they all laughed. But, Europeans and Asians, they come to America. Even my father-in-law, who's Korean, came to Santa Monica and goes, why is everybody so fat? This is L.A. Yeah. This is not the Midwest. And so I had a bunch of pudge early on, and maybe I think I was up to almost 190 at one point. And my fighting weight
How tall are you?
I'm 5'10" and a half with a very wide frame.
Yeah.
I'm thick, and I float around 172, 173. My fighting weight and what I shot on the cover, I think I was about 160, 163, 162, so about 10 pounds less. And since the coronavirus, I definitely am back up to 172, probably 175.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I'm surprised. We're eating super healthy, but I've gained a lot of weight. And I didn't know that till I stopped wearing shorts and sweatpants and went to put on a pair of pants the other day. And I was like, holy shit, like, like my quads have gotten big. And I think it's just because we're eating 3 meals at least every day. I mean, they're good. They're really healthy and stuff, but just eating a lot of calories. And I'm working out still, but just can't keep up. I gotta exercise even more or eat less.
You got a home gym up there?
Yeah. Yeah. So my garage, I've converted into a full CrossFit gym.
And you got a 300-pound kettlebell up there?
I'm no Bobby with the. I think his biggest was a 200-pound kettlebell.
I know. He was trying to say he was ordering one.
Yeah. He's. I could tell you. I have more stories about that guy from the time my wife killed a mouse in our house while I was on the road. Somebody gave her a glue trap, and she found this mouse underneath the sink and called Bobby, and Bobby came over and poured olive oil all over it, cleaned it off under the thing, and then tried to give it mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. He's unbelievable. He is.
I love Bobby because he's just like a big kid.
I called him once when I was building my gym. I said, hey, I have a rope. I just bought a rope, a 15-foot rope. I want to hang it in a tree. You want to help me do it? He said, yeah. Where are you? I said, I'm surfing right now. I'm going out surfing. And I go, come over later and we'll put the rope up. Well, I come home. He's in my house. He's in my backyard. He's taken the rope back there, and he's in a tree. And he's just climbed up there already and tied the rope up there. And he's like, yeah, I know. I couldn't wait.
He needed somebody to play with.
Yeah.
Come over and play with.
Yep. He loves to play. That backyard of his was the best.
The one up in Malibu, right?
Yeah. So I live a few houses away from where he lived there before he moved.
Oh, the old house.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And that was the best backyard. I took Hunter over there. I introduced Hunter to Bobby. And it's a story I've told on the show many times. I took him over, and Hunter said he wrestled. Bobby wanted to, this guy's the best in the world. I'll beat his ass. Bobby had a wrestling mat in his backyard that he had me help him build. And he walks into the backyard. Hunter walks in with me. He looks at Bobby. They don't even talk. There's this weird kind of like two dogs at the dog park when they're like ready to fight. And Hunter takes his shirt off. Bobby takes his shirt off. They head over to the mat and they just start wrestling. And and Hunter, because of his endurance, was able to he was going to beat Bobby. And Bobby couldn't let that happen, so Bobby threw an elbow and broke Hunter's nose.
Oh, no.
That was their first meeting. Yeah.
Are they friends?
Yeah, they're great friends now. They're the best of friends. Just,
That's a classic story. And Hunter came out of nowhere on my Instagram, and I was like, who's this? And I met him in person one time, but he got a total kick out of me. It must have been through Bobby or something. I don't know how he knew me. And I'm like, who is this fucking wild animal? Yeah. And then I saw him at the strongman competition with Arnold. I met him in person finally. And what a fucking animal that guy is.
He really is. I hate to compliment him because I know he listens to the show every week, so I won't. But he is an animal. He's trying to break the Murph world record right now, which I don't know if you're familiar with the Murph workout. It's you run a mile, then you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and run a mile. And you've got to do it with a weight vest on, a 20-pound weight vest. And somebody has listed somewhere on the internet that Josh Bridges, this former Navy SEAL guy that finished second at the CrossFit Games, did it in 34-something. And Hunter's like, I've already crushed that. And he's like, I'm going for so I told him I'd do the same thing. I'm going to try to compete no vest. And I'm like 20 years older than Hunter. And I'm going to do no vest, and I get to partition. I don't have to do 100, 200, 300 in that order. I get to do 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 squats, and do 20 rounds of that. But I'm still not going to beat him. He runs like a 5-minute mile with the vest on. He's crazy. He's a freak.
Well, God, what a perfect match with old Bobby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're. I've always wanted to do a podcast with them, and I'm thinking about doing it 30, 40, 50. A guy in their 30s, guy in their 40s, guy in their 50s, where we just talk about like life and every aspect of life. So, and it'd be nice to have even a 20-year-old, somebody in their 20s, but when you're in your 20s, you don't need this shit. But when you're in your 30s, you're going through a lot, 40s a lot, and 50s a lot, where are you health-wise, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, that kind of stuff. So with those two idiots.
If you ever want a 70-year-old, I got my boy Mick Dodge. You know this character?
No.
National Geographic did 39 episodes. He lives up in the Hoh rainforest. His grandfather, they were all logmen up there in the Olympic Peninsula, and then they were all Marines in World War II, and so real just salt of the earth guys. And he knows how to live underneath tree stumps and underneath the moss, and trains in glacier water and stones, and he's totally into iron and strength training, and he's just been that guy for the longest time. He's a good friend of mine. I met him up at the Hoh Rainforest last year with my kids.
Where's the Hoh Rainforest?
The Hoh is in the Olympic Peninsula.
Okay, near Seattle.
Yeah, just on the other side of Seattle. It's about 2 hours from Seattle, and just the most northwest corner of the United States. And he's I've been doing men's work for years, and I called him up, and he's like, I said, can you come to my man club that I got going on? And he goes, well, I'm on my way to Wim Hof, and this guy has run from the Olympic National Park, the Olympic National Glacier, to Tahoe and back 12 times in his life, and that's a 500-mile run. And so, and he's known as the Barefoot Sensei, so he does it all barefoot as well. So I go, hey, we're having this event. Can you come down? And he's like, well, I'm coming out of the mountains to go see that Wim Hof guy. And he makes these hammers and these training stones where he puts on big sticks and hammers, and he does all this Thor type of mystical workouts, and they're like spiritual workouts. He's like that guy. And
does he have any stuff online? Are you able to see anything, or is it all, like folklore kind of stuff that you got to find the guy?
Well, he has a strength farm up near Mount Shasta, and then he just bought another 220 acres. So he's going to be doing more stuff with me as well, commercial stuff. So I'll invite you up for that. But you can go up and visit him in Shasta right now at his strength farm. But he makes these hammers, and he was going to give one to Wim Hof, but he didn't have a formal introduction. And if you know anything about Wim, or just famous people in general, they usually have the gatekeepers around them. And he's like, I'm not going to deal with that. I'm coming to your men's retreat, and I'm coming there for the whole time. So he does men's work with me, and as soon as this is over, we're going to have a retreat up at his place. He's got 2 places. He's got 220 acres off grid, and he's got 10-acre strength farm that he grows alfalfa in, and he's got a big barn there with all his weightlifting equipment. He makes his own custom barbells, like old school Eugene Sandow stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Is your men's club, that's not where Ronnie Teasdale did the butt sunning or the butthole sunning, is it?
Yeah, that was my event off grid where Mick Dodge came up and taught as well, and he made that video that weekend.
Ronnie did, the one that went viral.
Yeah, it went super viral. We've done multiple ones on it since.
So you're into the butthole sunning too?
Well, I moved into a nice house here, and I've got the sun that comes in here in the morning, and I was doing it this morning. I like sun on my naked body. It's very, word around the campfire is that it's good for testosterone if you get it on your scrotum.
Yep.
a little bit of sunlight on my nutsack and my butthole, I think is good medicine, personally. It feels warm down there. And but he made it go viral, and then my name got implicated. And I'm not just talking viral, throwing that word around.
No, that went everywhere.
It made it onto David Spade, the night show with what's his name, Steve Colbert. I mean, it was on Australian radio. It was on, the New York Post. It was Rolling Stone.
It was everywhere. And I just kept, because Ronnie had talked about it on the podcast. He had just come back from, I guess, your retreat. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to post this video. And I texted him and I said, look at you. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I've had two things go viral. One, I guess when he got in trouble with his CrossFit gym, and then this. And I was like, leave it to Ronnie. He's unbelievable. And so are you also into the drinking your bodily fluids thing?
Well, I've been doing that for 15 years. I mean, and I had a lot of videos made about me, and somebody just did a documentary on me, and they clickbaited the title, The Day in the Life of a Urine Drinker. But the great thing is most people that watch it, I convert them to all this health nut stuff. And so, but I don't advocate it for people. My marketing team doesn't want me making videos on it right now. They don't want me to get kicked off of YouTube. But I've been doing it for 15 years. I like it. I think it boosts testosterone. So HGH. So I'm going to do it.
So you, let me ask you this. Looking at your, do you still have parents around?
Yes.
How are their genetics?
My biological father, he's doing good. He's got a gut. If you know anything about food and glyphosate, we've been poisoned. So he hasn't been able to get his gut back online since it blew out. I don't know. I got him into eating organic and gluten-free, and so it must have blew out within the last 20 years because he was always in good shape. He's a healthy guy. He's got his cognition. He's got his good Irish looks, but he's got a little bit of a gut. My mom, I think that Irish and Northern Europeans, we've got livers of iron, My mother's not a health nut, although she does adopt many things that she can put into her life, health nut stuff. But they're doing good. They're in their 70s.
Right.
Their cognition is razor sharp. My mom smokes and drinks, but she's doing good. My grandmother smoked unfiltered Camels, which is decent tobacco compared to the garbage that's out there. And I think she did that up until her 70s or so. She lived till 89.
Wow.
So, look, we got good genetics.
Okay.
If you look at Bruce Lipton's body of work, it's not just your genes, it's what you do to your genes. So obviously I've been juicing for 31 years. Whether the clickbait says it's good for you or not, I've been doing it.
Right.
Obviously there's something that shows up in my tissues. People comment on my skin and my hair all the time. So, it's not perfection, but I think what you put in your body rebuilds your tissues.
How long have you been growing that beard out?
This is 2 years. I shaved for a TV show in June of 2018. So how many years is that? So is that almost 3 years? No, almost
two. That's pretty long for almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
That's a healthy beard. I mean, for those of you who don't see him right now, I mean, this is Mumford & Sons going on right now. Ronnie talks about the antennas, the hair being antennas. Is that why?
This is the longest I've had my hair and my beard by far, and I'm so into it as a man. I went through a divorce, and this was kind of what happened. I just grew my shit out. I've been in front of the camera for 31 years, so I've kind of always had that model kind of actor look. And then I was just like, went through the divorce, and I was just like, things weren't working in my life, and I just said, fuck it. And I started growing it out. And you know what? Everything started working in my life. So I'm like, people are like, you'll make more money if you shave. And I'm like, fucking bullshit. That's your slave conditioning.
Yeah.
Working. And so, so now, yeah, absolutely. My intuition's higher. I now that I have my hair, I don't give a fuck what people think about me at all. You know, I care deeply about humanity and this earth, and that's why I do the work that I do. But as far as the opinions of others, and I allowed that in the entertainment industry and the modeling industry for years to creep into my consciousness. And now I'm just crushing it in business. I'm crushing it in all aspects of my creativity because I literally don't give a fuck what people think.
So what do you do business-wise besides, I mean, you've got your website, you've got your books, you're an author, you're a life coach, right?
So I do public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
I've got an organic line of wheatgrass and spirulina products. We have a nutritional program. We get organic nutrients to people's homes from our farms. You know, I've been in the herbs and superfood industry for 15 years.
Yeah, Bobby says you really know your herbs and stuff.
Yeah, so I work with a company and I monetize all my videos with that. That's probably at least 50-60% of my income. I do some coaching. I only want to work with people. My time's so valuable. My prices are so high. So it's not affordable for most people, and I like it that way. The rest of my work, I do free videos all over the internet. I put out as much valuable information as free, you know, for forever. And now I'm getting hired to work much more in the media. I'm getting hired to work, you know, as an international speaker. I've been speaking for 15 years as well. I'm a trained orator. I'm a trained actor. So, public speaking, motivational speaking, lectures, workshops, retreats, seminars, online courses. I have 2 online courses. I have my book, and I have my nutritional program. And so that's basically my business, and then marketing all those ideas.
To go back to something you mentioned, the wheatgrass and spirulina. I'm pretty knowledgeable about a lot of nutritional things, and I eat pretty well. That's one thing I've never really gone down that route of wheatgrass or spirulina. Can you tell me why you would one would take that?
Well, these are all, you know, any kind of herb or superfood. Superfood just means nutrient density.
Mm-hmm.
You want to look at, you know, as hunter-gatherers, we used to eat more variety. And the herbs that we could harvest and hunt, you know, gather, they had incredible nutrient density. They were wild, which means the genetic codes inside them were stronger. They have to fight against fungus, molds, bacteria, especially if you're looking at Amazonian plants or even desert plants. You know, their survival mechanisms are extremely strong. So when you ingest them, you put them into your body. Some are more dexterous. You've got to boil them to get the medicine and the phytochemistry out of them in teas, or extract them with alcohol. Some of them, like the wheatgrass, some of them are indigestible because of phytic acids and lectins. So you sprout them, then you juice them, and so they become bioavailable. And so when you know this, you test things. You try different materials into the body. And, you know, variety is the spice of life, and there's different phytochemistry in some of these plants. So superfoods mean nutrient dense. So something like wheatgrass has superoxide dismutase, which protects you against the radiation of the sun. And that makes sense because it makes chlorophyll out of the radiation of the sun.
Interesting.
This is just photosynthesis. And making that stuff bioavailable. The herbivores eat the plants, and the omnivores eat the herbivores and the plants. Everybody dies and goes back into the closed organic life cycle. So whether you eat grass-fed cows that eat the grass, or whether you juice the wheatgrass or juice the green foliage and drink it, or eat the animals, you're still getting this nutrition in. Personally, we're dealing with depleted soil. We're dealing with nutrient density that has gone down. And so taking in fresh squeezed juice and stuff like that, flooding the body, for me, that's like a blood transfusion.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting vitamins, minerals, and enzymes without taxing your metabolic process,
and
which takes up the majority of your energy.
Where's the spirulina come from? What is spirulina exactly?
Spirulina is a freshwater algae.
Okay.
So single-celled algae. And it's got extreme amounts of protein per the concentrated protein, which builds up amino acids. It's got nutrient density. And again, not everything is right for everyone.
Sure.
But you try it, you taste it, you say, oh, let me do pre-workout. Let me do the organic stuff Troy Casey talks about. Okay, let me try this. All right, I was doing whey protein and caffeine stimulants before. Let me try this green stuff. All right, and then you go test it. You go to the gym, you do it for a week or a month or whatever, and then you test it, and you see how you feel.
Sure.
Usually when people put the liquid sunshine into their body, I just had mine this morning right here, and so 2 scoops in water, you try it out. Now I can't live without it. I used to juice every day. Juicing takes up 45 minutes of my day. I don't have the time with 2 young children. So I just use the dried dehydrated powders, high quality stuff.
Yeah.
And I try it, and it tastes good. Have you tried the liquid sunshine yourself?
No, not at all.
We'll have to get some up to you.
Are you familiar with Dr. Walter Longo at all?
I know a lot of people, and that name doesn't.
Dr. Longo is an aging expert. I think he runs the USC Aging Institute, and he has done a lot of work with cancer in fasting. And he was not able to get any doctors to allow him to work with their patients and have them fast because they were, going through cancer treatments. He's like, they need to eat. We can't fast people that are cancer. So he developed a diet that was pretty much a ketogenic type of diet that was, he called it a fast mimicking diet. And he, it's pretty, he's got it pretty hidden on the internet because it's behind a paywall. But the guy's gotten, everyone from the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, everybody's saying this guy's great. The results he's had in fasting are amazing, but he basically gets people to cut down to a 900 calorie diet a day, then 700. I think they eventually end up with a 500 calorie diet that their body just perceives that they're fasting, but they're not. And the diet, from what I've read online from people, going through his system and doing it, it's pretty much of all avocados. You're only eating like 1 or 2 avocados a day. I think it's maybe 2 avocados a day, and green powder, so that you can get your nutrients. So you're still getting your micronutrients, and the avocado is giving you the fat that your body's living on that energy, but your body, there's no glycogen coming in because he says cancer, thrives on glycogen. And so he's not saying, hey, don't go through radiation or don't go through chemotherapy, but he's like, why not add this to your arsenal? And they've had incredible results, and enough that like clinical results that people, I've heard them on everybody from, Dr. Rhonda to, I'm trying to think where else I've heard them, but really smart guy and really interesting because you're talking about the green powder. And I think that's part of it is the green powder and then the avocados.
And that corroborates, because everyone's got their own approach. And Rhonda Patrick says that anything that goes through the liver is not considered a fast. Okay, fine. I have my own approach. I call it calorie-restricted fasting or juicing. I've been doing it for 31 years. I intermittent fast on fresh squeezed juice or pre-digested nutrient-dense materials. And I also use pre-digested vegan amino acids. I found the super, super clean amino acids that help stabilize muscle growth, even if you're not working out. They were designed for renal patients wasting away in the hospital bed. So I use those with the green powders or fresh squeezed juice, and I stay on that till 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. When I put my clients on the cleanse, that's what we do. It's about 650 calories. You can have an avocado, half an apple, half an avocado, or a carrot, some raw vegetable 3 times a day with 3 green juices. And that's my calorie-restricted approach to life, to fasting, to intermittent fasting, to juice cleansing, to juice fasting. And look, lo and behold, the Gerson Therapy was invented by Max Gerson almost 80 years ago. This was used for people with stage 4 cancer. They use that in coffee enemas. That's the Gerson Therapy. And then Ann Wigmore, who created the Hippocrates Institute that's still alive in Florida, and the Optimal Health Institute in San Diego, which is a farm or a retreat center that you can go away and drink wheatgrass all day long and do wheatgrass enemas. And Ann Wigmore left her legacy to my business partner, David Sandoval, who's been growing organic wheatgrass on volcanic ash beds in Utah for 27 years. And so, yeah, green juice therapy is, it sounds like this guy's really on point. He's on exactly my wavelength. And it makes me feel better because I hear the Rhonda Patricks and the other guy that was on Rogan talking about erythromycin in mice or something, the longevity gene.
Oh, Dr. Peter Attia.
Yeah. So, but the fact of the matter is what is it? It's the fasting. It's the fasting element that takes you there. And again, perfection doesn't exist. Everyone's got their different approach. Rhonda Patrick was saying, like, anything else but black coffee is, going to not consider you in a fasted state. But I'm like, hey, wait a second. I've been in a calorie deficit most of my adult life, and it's worked for me and my digestion. So obviously my approach is working. So again, people can split hairs and have their own approaches, but I think it's all leads to the same way. Fasting is the key to longevity.
Mm-hmm. But you do eat meat. You eat a lot of meat. You were talking about organ meat. You're not a vegan.
I got sick as a vegan.
Yeah. I hear that a lot.
And I rescue malnourished famous vegans off of YouTube because I'm vocal on social media about it. I've been doing it for years. When they argue with me, and then when they go, oh, I'm not feeling so well, and I'm pudgy, and I'm soft, and I got man boobs, and oh, that Troy Casey, what was he saying about that? And next thing you know, they secretly,
yeah,
and then I help them.
All right, you've been a wealth of information. I've taken up so much of your time. Awesome finally meeting you. One last thing. You did stand-up comedy for a while.
Yes.
When was that?
Let's see. I think I did early 2000s.
Okay.
I studied with this guy, Adam Barnhart, who had a belly room night.
Okay.
And, so I worked out my material in his class, and then I got it, and I loved it. So,
yeah.
Especially the creative process, because I'm a funny fucker. There's no doubt about it. And but working out those jokes and your sweaty palms and your open mics and bombing and all that stuff. I mean, I really enjoyed it, but I also fucking was so afraid of it.
Oh, it's a monster.
But I got 2 amazing sets up on YouTube live on the Sunset Strip. It's actually my first YouTube video called Laughter is the Best Medicine. And then I created a character. I looked at it years later, and I think I must have been really inspired by Andy Kaufman and the Coneheads, because even though I didn't copy them or any of that stuff, but the way my comedy came out, I got one called Yerk from Uranus, which was, what is it? It's Yerk from Uranus, and his name is Yerk with a J. He was just a fucking jerk, right? And so I'll send those sets to you so you can get a good laugh.
That's hilarious. Yeah, comedy's great. It's a necessity in life. Tommy Tiernan, who's a famous Irish comedian, said to me one time, we need places in our life where basement type places where people can go and talk and express ideas. And even if you don't agree with the ideas are out there, and some people laugh at them and some people don't, but we challenge ourselves and we get to say things that have never been said before and get to see the reaction of other people. And it's a human instinct, and to try to stifle that is insane. And I just think it's necessary for human evolution. And, people are talking about, are we ever going to have comedy clubs again with these viruses? And it's like, people are always going to find a way to get together and laugh and make fun of things. And I don't know where we're going in the future. I was just on a session with a whole bunch of friends on one of the Zoom meetings, and we were laughing like we've never laughed before. So, you're never going to stop that. So you can try viruses, but you're not going to stop comedy.
Totally. And comedy and laughter just lowers stress levels. You know, it just makes you feel good all the way around. And for me, I never stopped doing comedy. So I went from doing stand-up at the Comedy Store to YouTube became a new reality. I developed Certified Health Nut, which was an amalgamation of my on-camera career and my natural medicine studies and my stand-up comedy. And I developed the Certified Health Nut. YouTube was a new reality. I came out, I started posting the stuff on there. If you don't have a doctor's degree, people take pot shots at you all the time. So I put the moniker Certified Health Nut, which is a joke within itself. And so I'm just out there observing things, and it's my point of view. And I do coyote medicine or Joker, you know, court jester. And I don't have all the answers, but I've definitely got some observations. And it's worked out like a charm. My career is kicking ass, man. I'm just stepping into my full power right now.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad I finally got to meet you. And it's, you know, it's just like adding to my my clown car full of maniacs that love life and love to be healthy. And, you know, so awesome meeting you. Your YouTube channel, where do they go to?
Certified Health Nut, certifiedhealthnut.com, Certified Health Nut Instagram, Certified Health Nut branded all over the internet, troycasey.com, and my book, rippedat50.com. I think all roads lead to that website right now. So I'm easy to find.
Okay, well, when this thing's over, we got to get together. It was awesome meeting you.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. And thanks for supporting the show. Check us out every week on, where are we? We're on Spotify now. We're on iTunes. You know what to do. Rate, review, comment. If you've made it this far, hashtag still listening. Thanks a lot, Troy.
Thanks, brother.